What is up? What is up? What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just As TV. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and please subscribe because I'm almost at my goal, child. I'm almost there. I can feel it. And I thank you. Thank you for my returning subscribers. Thank you guys for sticking with me. We are going to do a review of Love During Lockup, episode number 27. I know I start all my videos like this, child, but I gotta always say it. This is a hot mess. This is a hot mess. I mean, this episode was more easier to stomach than a lot of the other ones. So we're just gonna get right into it. So we start off with our pain, our pain in the butt, Ayana. She's getting ready for her court sentencing today. Her court sentencing she's gonna do via Zoom. I think I noticed that a lot of the courts is doing a lot of their decisions and their court cases through Zoom now. Ever since the Big C happened, they're doing them through Zoom. I mean, it's good enough so you ain't gotta come out your house. Because I know one time she was saying that her mom was gonna drive. She was gonna get her mom to drive her, but because she's doing it through Zoom, she don't have to get her mom to drive her. So kudos to her. But yet she's in the kitchen with her daughter, getting her daughter together. That'll come into play later. So she's worried about jail makeup and talking about, oh, I know they do their jail makeup with hot cocoa or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, girl. See, priorities in the wrong place. So Jamal calls to check up on her, and he calls to clear up the marriage situation. The conversation that she had with his parents, with his mother and his sisters, while while they was at the park last episode, and he says to her that he wasn't trying to say that he's gonna marry her in 2 years. He's trying to tell her that it's gonna take him 2 years to actually give her the marriage that she really wants. Sure. Okay. If you believe it, I do too. I do too. She claims, oh, that's a nice answer. That's a nice answer. And she's tired of him giving her nice answers. Girl, but you believe in it. You're eating it up. You're eating it up, girl. So clearly, it is a nice answer. Even though you and I should not be believing it. We shouldn't be believing it, child. We should not be believing it. I mean, but we're going to let crazy Ayana do what she want to do. Correct? So we shoot over to Andrew. Candace is about to be released, so he's standing outside waiting for her to come out. And then when she finally comes out, they hug or whatever. She's excited. He's excited. They're super, super, super excited. And they jump in the car to get ready to leave. I don't know where he's taking her yet because they keep stopping. So I don't know where he's taking her yet. But then he stops and they get out the car and she explains, to us that she started committing crimes when she was 19 and she spent approximately 6 years in prison so far. She says she has endless love for Andrew, and then Andrew gets out the car, she gets out the car, and he kind of proposes to her. And I'm just like, cute, okay, because that's what he said he was going to do. So he is head over heels for her, and I mean, I hope it works out in his favor, but it don't look like it. But we'll see. We'll see. He proposed to her. So then we cut to Teeny, and Teeny is in the living room with her kids, and she's explaining to them, that Rob is going to be in prison for, I think, 2 more months. Like I said before, 2 more months. He's not getting out as soon as they thought he was going to be getting out. And, she let her daughter know that he's not going to be there for her birthday. But he will be there for the family trip that they had planned on taking. And she wanted to get their take on it. She wanted to see how they was feeling about it. And I mean, I feel like her kids are pretty mature, which I like, because they both say that, it's just a few more months than they thought, and it's okay. They just have to have patience and stuff. And I'm just like, that's a really mature, grown-up answer coming from these young kids for their age. And I was actually surprised. I mean, I really like the way that she speaks with them. She keeps them informed. She has calm conversations with them, where it's not like a dictatorship where you just telling them what's happening and they got to go along with it. It's like a feedback and it's a give and take in their conversations, and I like it. I really don't agree, even though I don't agree with her putting them so much in their in her and Rob's business and what's going on with him and his life and their situation. I do like the way she communicates with them, because you can tell that they're very, very mature for their age, and I like that. Rob says he's nervous and scared for when he comes home. So then we head over to Rick. Child, Rick is at his niece's house, and he's discussing the reunion and the stuff that's transpired in the reunion, and he get a text from Sandy. I told y'all my last review that Sandy and what's her name? Carol. Sandy and Carol was throwing that puss at him, child. They was throwing it at him. And here's the proof. So Carol, they cut to a scene where Carol was talking about she wanted to get close to him and get together with him. But she kind of like pulled back because she found out that he was engaged to Samantha, and she was a little bit upset. I told you she was throwing that puss. Okay. And so now Rick was telling his niece that everybody knows, pretty much everybody is everybody at his reunion. And I'm assuming that's all of his friends. Because I'm like, everybody knows? Well, she's there on TV, so everybody do know. But she tells his niece that everybody knows, and then Samantha calls, and he kind of conveys to her that everybody knows now about their situation, about their relationship, that they're engaged, so the cat's out the bag. She doesn't have to worry. She wants him to come up for the holidays, and he's saying that he's not sure if he's going to be able to come up for the holidays because of his funds. And we find out about his financial situation later, but he's like, his financial situation is a little bit tight, and he doesn't know if he's going to come. And she proceeds to say, well, she's not going to take no for an answer. She wants him to come, because she don't have daily items that she needs. And I'm just like, you need him to come for the daily items, or you need him to come because you want him to visit, or you want to miss him. And you miss him. Like, I don't know which one it is. I can't get it, but it seems like she really just wants him to bring the stuff. That's why she wants him to come for the holidays. And she's a little bit mad that he used his funds as an excuse not to. But we'll see. He's living off a pension, we find out. And his pension can only go so far, and it is what it is. She throwing out stuff like, oh, he should be a bachelor, he should be this, and he should be that. But you knew his situation when you got with him, even though he sent you that $125. I don't know when he sent it. I don't know how often he sent you money, but I'm sure y'all discuss financial situations because you don't have any income. He does. So I don't understand what you get mad for. But it is what it is. He has to be careful of how he spends his money because he's retired and living off his pension. So clearly he's only getting enough to support himself or whatever. So, I mean, she can't get mad at it, but it's whatever. So his niece then goes to explain to us that, because she is a correctional officer and she knows how these inmates, operate, like how they constantly ask their significant others for money and to send them items and stuff like that. She doesn't want, she's picking up on some of the patterns with Samantha, how the other inmates act towards their significant other, and she's worried for Rick. But she's been saying that for the longest. From the last episode when we met them, she was saying the same thing. And the fact that she listens to the conversations, that she's a correction officer, so she knows the patterns, and she kind of like sees it in Samantha happening with her uncle, and she doesn't want him to get hurt. So then we skip to Joey. So Joey is meeting up with this Smex work columnist or therapist or whatever he called her, and they start chatting because he's having issues with getting comfortable enough to open up sexually for Michael, because that's what Michael wants. That is, we've already learned that he has a high drive, and Michael wants Joey to be explorative. And Joey, that's not his comfortable realm. So he's trying to get himself more comfortable so that he can be comfortable for Michael. And we'll see. They gave him some advice. She gave him advice about talking dirty, about, watching some videos and then having, his alone sexy time and seeing if that'll help. So that's what he intends to do eventually. Yeah. And then he says he's not comfortable or he's not good at giving, doing fellatio, and because Michael says his skills are not that great. So he wants a little bit of advice on what he do to make that better as well. So he asks for help in that area. And she gives him a little bit of advice, which was pretty good. I think if one of my friends came to me and asked me something like that, I would probably give her the same advice. So the advice is pretty good. It's just a matter of how he executes. But I mean, he's trying, and it's not just for, I don't think it's just for Michael. I really think it's just for him himself, because he's of that age and he wants to, I guess, be better. I don't know, but it is what it is. So they kind of move on and discuss a little bit about Michael, his addiction, and the fact that, when they say when you're an addict or whatever, that you get stuck in the age that you start doing the things. And they said because he started doing drugs at 25, that he's stuck in that age of 25. And Joey is like, well, he doesn't want to be his mom, and he wants to break out of that, and he doesn't want to have to raise him. And I'm just like, I get it, because y'all grown, and I don't think anybody wants to deal with that. Can't raise a man, he's already grown, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be stuck in that phase. K. Michelle said it best, child. She did. But anyway, Rick, we get to Rick, back to Rick. Rick is going to play pickleball with his friend, and he's still discussing the money issue and the fact, he breaks it down that his wife from his previous marriage gets a portion of his pension, so that's why he's in the situation that he's in. But, we didn't know that. So he's, she gets a portion of his pension, he gets a portion of his pension, and then he still has to support Samantha, who's, she wants, the girlfriends want. So they discuss the marriage again. She's adamant about getting married. Rick says he wants to get married, but I feel like Rick is having doubts. He says it's too soon. I'm assuming like right after she gets out would be too soon. So he's having doubts. And I think that Rick still wants to live his life. He wants to have one foot in and one foot out. He wants to live his life, but then he also wants to be able to be a ladies' man at reunions like that. So I don't know how this is going to work out, but that's how I feel. That's what I feel about Rick. Like, Rick is comfortable with being himself, being by himself, being able to move how he want to move, but he also wants a woman in his life so that he could do whatever he need to do. But then he also wants to be out in the streets and be a ladies' man and go drinking when he wants to go drink and stuff like that. So I think that that's where we stuck at with Rick and Samantha. Yeah, so then we shoot to Teenie again. And Teenie's mom is visiting. So she shuts off the cameras, because her mom is dead. Most of the time when your mom comes to visit, y'all having, heart-to-hearts. And you don't want anybody to intrude on that information. And probably the things that she was saying, she don't want Rick to know. So she tells her mom that she's going shopping. And it's on Rob, so she could leave her purse in the house. Child, what is Rob doing? I don't know, because Rob is doing it up. So she's taking out the fact that she's taking it out on Rob's pockets, the fact that he had to extend his parole. So she's upset about him extending his parole, and she's gonna take it out on his pockets. Clearly he is sending her money, and a lot of it, and she be handling it how she want to handle it, or he's sending people money and they handling it how they, I don't know, because we already found out that he's sending her money and then he's sending his mother money. So I can imagine what's happening. So we found out that Rob supports everybody financially. Like I said, he sends his mother money and he sends her money. I don't think she works. That's what I was trying to figure out for the last couple of episodes, if she works, because I'm like, I never really see her work. I always see her just out and about. So I don't think she works. And he's saying that he supports her financially anyway. And he says he plays the poker table. We're going to wink that up, because if you know what the wink means, you know that's not all he's doing. That's the cleanup. That's the TV version of what he's doing. So he says he plays the poker table in jail. Child. Okay, whatever you say. And this sucker says that he makes $6,000 to $7,000 a month in jail on the poker table. $6,000 to $7,000 a month is more than what some people bring home working a 9 to 5. But we're gonna wink that one out again because I'm sure that's not the only thing that he's doing to make money. He also says that she is spoiled. And I was just like, child, he got a lot of things to say about her this episode, child. I thought everything was peaches and cream. Besides the little stuff that he let out the bag. But now he just giving it all up. So her and her mom have a heart-to-heart, and the mom feels like she's losing the whole, her and her kids, because it's normally just them. And especially to the fact that Rob is soon coming home, so she knows she's going to see them less, like all of them as a unit. And they both get emotional and start crying. Mom feels like that she didn't spend enough time with Teenie and that she could have done better when it came to raising her. And I feel like every parent feels like that once in their life, because you have your children who's living independently and they make decisions that you are not proud of or you're not happy with, and you're just like, who raised you? I think every parent has that moment. And I feel like this was her. She feels like, she I think because of her situation and who Teenie chooses to be with, the mother feels like she did her an injustice. And I mean, like I said, I feel like every parent has that moment in their life once in a while. Drop down in the comments, let me know if you're a parent and you've thought that way. Like, did I do a good job raising my kids? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? I know I have, so I'm sure there's plenty of people who have. So drop down in the comments and let me know if that's you. You don't have to go into detail, but I understand you. Just be like, girl, I see you. Drop down in the comments and be like, girl, I see you, and I'm gonna know what you mean. Okay? It's all good. So Rob wants to feel like a king. He wants a submissive woman. He feels like Teenie is not submissive the way he needs her to be. And let's discuss submission for a little bit. So we're going to break down submission for a little bit. We're going to discuss it. And nowadays, I feel like people are taking the word submission out of context, especially when it comes to a unit or a marriage. I feel like submission could go both ways in a marriage. This is just my opinion. In a marriage, I feel like submission could go both ways. Like if the man is not doing, leading in the right direction or in a certain area, if that's not his strong suit and it's the woman's strong suit, he could be submissive to her in that area and vice versa. If a woman is not financially, that's not her strong suit, managing money, however the case may be and that is the man's strong suit, then the woman should be submissive in that, because submissive could be give and take. But a lot of people feel like, oh, submissive means I'm going to lead and you're just going to listen. And that's what it sounds like Rob is leaning more towards, just because of the things that he says. For example, his example was, I tell her to sit down and look cute over there. She said, I have just as much voice in this relationship as you. Meaning that he wants her to sit down and shut up somewhere. And she's not the type to just listen to what he's saying and go and sit down and shut up. And I'm just like, I don't know how that's going to work, because she, judging from how she speaks in the confessionals and stuff like that, I feel like she knows what's going on. She's very cognizant of what's going on. She has her own opinion, and she's definitely going to express it. She's not going to let anybody sway her otherwise. Even though she's hypnotized and in love with him, I feel like she's still going to speak up for what's right and what's wrong. But that's just how it feels. And I feel like he doesn't want that. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Y'all drop that in the comments. Let me know. I could be wrong. He thinks that this will hurt the relationship because she's not submissive enough. And I feel like I agree. And I agree with his summation of that, because he's looking for a specific type of submission. And if she's not it, then he's not going to choose her, because he's looking for a specific type of submission. And that's not going to work in their favor. So that's why I agree. But that's just me. So then we shoot to Andrew. And Andrew asked Candace, will she marry him? And Candace said yes. She said he's the love of her life, so she's gonna marry him. So kind of explains to him her transition. It would be 20 to 30 days in that house that she's supposed to go live in because of her substance, usage. And if she doesn't complete it, she's gonna go back to jail and start all over again. And he's a little bit disappointed. She's a little bit disappointed because she signed up for only 14 days. So she only thought it was going to be 14 days and then she's going to transition to the house. And her PO told her, absolutely not. You have to do the whole 20 to 30 days there and make sure everything is copacetic before they can let you out and transition to your house. Andrew started taking care. We found out that Andrew started taking care of her from the moment they met. She was telling him that she didn't have a pillow, so he sent her a pillow, and then she sent him a list of everything that she was missing because he asked her, is there anything else that she needed? She sent him a list of everything that she needed, and he sent everything to her. So she's expecting that level of care always in a whole relationship. I'm assuming even now as she gets out. But then she proceeds to tell Andrew that she's not used to being treated well, and it's awkward to her, and that she needs to work through her traumas before she could be part of this relationship. And I'm just like, ma'am, you've been part of this relationship for almost a year. So how would you say that you need to work through your traumas in order to be part of this relationship? Huh? That's not making sense. You've been in a relationship leading him in that direction for almost a year. Now you free and you singing a whole new tune. All right, girl. Okay. All right. We cut to Joe again, and Joe's having a video chat with Michael, and because Michael wants to have sexy time, so he rented a hotel. Joey says that he'll let Michael do whatever, like they've been doing. So he's trying to be open about what's going on, and I'm just assuming Michael just want to do all kind of stuff, child, all kind of stuff. But just a thought is kind of, I don't know. I just wouldn't allow Michael that much leeway. I'll say that. So Michael's friend tells Michael that he found Joey on a hookup app. And he's still got Joey believing that he only gonna be in there for a year. He still hadn't dropped the bomb that he might possibly be up to looking at 6 years. So I feel like he's still being misleading. And then Michael, he says that he's not messing around with anybody in prison. He's not letting them do anything to him, like he's not indulging. And he got a little bit peeved because he doesn't want Joey to be, on the hookup app and be trying to deal with anybody else. He really wants him to be there and wait. And Joey doesn't feel like he's doing anything wrong with being on the hookup app. And he says that Michael's in prison, so what is the big deal? And I'm just like, I don't know. Y'all work it out how y'all work it out. I have no opinions towards that, because it seems like to me that the moment that Michael tells Joey that he's going to be possibly looking at 6 years in prison, Joey's going to bail. That's what it seems like to me from last episode and this episode, because he keeps harping on, he might be in there for X, Y, and Z, and who's gonna wait that long? He already said it. So I feel like he's on these hookup apps as a backup, because I think he knows that Michael's gonna drop that bomb on him, and then he's just gonna bail. It is what it is. So then we cut back to Ayana, and she finds out that she's gonna have to do 15 days in jail, 75 days of house arrest, and then possibly 4 years of probation. She's upset. She's peeved. She's slamming her phone around, taking the mic off, throwing the mic on the floor, yelling at producers because she is done. She feels that the judge was being disrespectful for her because the judge said she couldn't feed her baby. But I'm just like, again, she's one that comes up with 1,000,001 excuses. So I feel like she was using this baby, feeding the baby as a distraction or whatever to prolong whatever. And the judge got upset. You're wasting their time. You could have done all of this before you had this Zoom call and got all of this stuff prepared before the Zoom call. That shows responsibility. You have a responsibility to be attentive in this Zoom call, because this is very important. This is why I keep telling y'all that her priorities is in the wrong place, because it's just things she care about and things she don't care about, and her livelihood and her children's livelihood falls into the lines of things that she don't care about. That's just how I feel. She proceeds to throw a tantrum. She's slamming stuff, and like I said, it's just crazy. And it's crazy how she got this dude on the phone, and he telling her the truth. He says she should do anything for her freedom because it's on the line, and that it's not about her, which is 100% correct. If somebody holds your freedom in their hands, you should be very, very respectful and very, very polite and very, very pleasant. But being the way last episode that she spoke to her mom, she doesn't have that capability she doesn't have that capability. So she's going to be that way towards anybody who has authority over her, who could tell her whatever. You could tell. And the fact that he could tell you that it's not about you, he's absolutely right again. It's about your kids and making sure 15 days in jail is going to go by so quick. But then also 75 days house arrest, that gives you time to spend with your kid. But then how you going to make money? Because you do what you do. How you going to make money? So how is that going to work? You understand what I'm saying? And then that means you still have to keep your daughter. Your mother only going to keep the little girl for what, 2 weeks? And then you get her back when you get on house arrest. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Her priorities not in the right place. So then she says she's worried about being on probation for 4 years, and if it's going to affect affect him coming home to her. You see what I'm saying? Again, ma'am, your priorities is in the wrong place. You shouldn't be worried about whether his probation is going to affect him coming home to you. You should be worried about how you going to stay out of trouble so that you can be better for your kids. And it ends the show with her locked in a basement or wherever she was locked at, crying and carrying on and having a fit, child. I'm over Ayana and her shenanigans and the way she carries herself and the way she doesn't really have her children as her main priority. She literally have this man above everything. And then it's her, she wait, like her kids is way at the bottom of the list with her mother. I'm over her. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all over her, because I'm definitely over her. But thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys for episode 28, y'all. We will be back for episode 28.